Picture this. On the brink of a catastrophic war, one of the greatest warriors in history just puts down his weapons. And it's not because he's scared. It's because he's facing a moral agony that's tearing him apart. We're going to dive right into the heart of this incredible dilemma.
I mean, really think about that. What if winning meant losing yourself? That's the exact question that just stops our hero Arjuna dead in his tracks. It's a question that honestly still hits hard today, forcing you to ask, what's the real cost of a fight when the enemy isn't some stranger, but your own family?
Just try to put yourself in his shoes for a second. Lined up across from you are the very people who taught you everything you know, the people you grew up with, the people you love. And your job, your destiny, is to destroy them. That is the unbelievable reality that Arjuna is facing on this battlefield.
Now, Arjuna's breakdown doesn't just happen in a flash. It's actually a process, a powerful argument he builds inside his own mind against this whole war. We're going to walk through the 3 key stages of his crisis, starting with his fear, not for himself, but for the future of his entire society.
So he kicks off his argument by calling on this deep, ancient wisdom. Just listen to the original Sanskrit from the Bhagavad Gita, verse 143. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyana nanardana narakeniyatam vaso bhavatidya nusushruma.
So what he's saying here is, O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard from the authorities that those who destroy their family traditions will have to live always in hell. You see, his first point isn't about his personal feelings at all. It's about what he sees as an unbreakable cosmic law. And this is the really key part. He's not just making this up. He specifically says Anushruma, which means I've heard this. He's citing his sources. He's calling on sacred tradition. To him, this war is like taking an axe to the very root of his family, and by extension, all of society. He believes that one act will shatter all the traditions holding everything together, and the result will be chaos and a literal hell on earth for everyone. It's a really logical and powerful argument.
Okay, but from here, the crisis gets even deeper. It starts to shift from this big picture societal problem to something shockingly personal. Let's look at this next stage, as Arjuna starts to realize the specific, horrifying sin he's about to commit.
You can almost hear the pure shock in his voice in this next verse, 1.44. Aho bata mahatpapam kartum vyavasita vayam yad rajya sukha lobanya hantum swajanam udyata.
And the translation just lays it bare. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Suddenly, this abstract idea of sin has become terrifyingly real and specific.
You see what's happening? He's zeroed in on the motive, greed for a kingdom. And the act itself, it's not just war. He calls it svajanam, killing his own people. As a deeply moral person, he physically recoils from this idea. The problem is no longer out there in society. It's right here in his own hand. And all this personal horror, it pushes Arjuna to his breaking point, to this final, devastating conclusion. He's looked at the consequences for society, he's identified the personal sin, and now he lands on what he thinks is the only moral path he has left.
Here it is, in verse 1.45. This is the sound of complete and total surrender. Yadi mam apratikaram ashestram shastrapanaya, dartha rashtra runehanyus tan me kshemataram bhavet.
His conclusion is just staggering. He says, it would be better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, with weapons in their hands, killed me on this battlefield, unarmed and unresisting. I mean, wow, this is rock bottom for him. He would rather die, completely abandoning his duty as a warrior, than take part in this killing. Now, according to the warrior code, the Kshatriya code, you just don't attack an enemy who is unarmed and unwilling to fight. But Arjuna is so broken, he's saying that even if they break that code and attack him, he won't defend himself. The commentary on this verse points out that this is a symptom of what it calls soft-heartedness, which is a direct result of his deep devotion. He's just too good of a person to stomach what he sees as a complete atrocity.
So this is the impossible choice he's staring down. On one side, fight, commit a terrible sin, and face damnation. On the other side, don't fight and be killed. From where he's standing, every single path leads to absolute ruin. There's no way out.
But here's the twist. This moment of total collapse, of complete paralysis, it isn't the end of the story.
In fact, it might be the most important beginning in the entire epic. You see, it's only because he hits this wall, this point of utter despair, where he literally throws down his bow and arrows, that's when he becomes ready to hear a much, much deeper truth. His crisis is what opens the door for the entire wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita to be revealed. His failure becomes the very foundation for timeless spiritual teaching. And that leaves us with a pretty deep question to chew on, right? Arjuna had to be completely broken. His own logic had to run out of road before he could really, truly learn. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of profound truth can only be found when you finally, completely let go?
Hey, if you got something valuable out of this deep dive into a timeless problem, please help us share these ideas by hitting that like button and subscribe for more journeys just like this one. Thanks so much for watching.